Something like that, little something like that, and we say,
What?
Be going down, people of the world. My name is Redbeard, and this is yet another beer review. And the gentleman over here is Maxwell Starr, linked in the description down below. Go live on his channel pretty much every Wednesday around 8:30 p.m. with Beer Analysis 101. And today, we both have a can of Lone Wine.
Wine.
This is Sawdust City's 2000th brew that they have ever made. So they have made 2000, I don't think different beers, but it would have to be different beers though. Because just brews, I don't know exactly. It said there's a small novel on the back of this can. But we've got 11.2% ABV, Sawdust City out of Gravenhurst, Ontario. And yeah, there's already a thumbnail on this thing, so this is unnecessary. Been a while since
They've been around long enough to 2000th brew. Like, how long have they been around? They've been what?
I'm not
more
sure
than 10 years old, aren't they?
What do we got here? Background 2000. Where's it being? This hoppy without being bitter, malty without being sweet. This well-balanced behemoth is the knowledge accumulation of 2,000 brews here at Sawdust City. Each of those 2,000 brews was a learning experience unto itself, with all the success and all the failures we've made over the past 7 years going into the construction of this beer. So, yeah, they've been 7 years right there. So
7 years? I feel like Sawdust City's been around for longer than that. I must be going crazy. Anyway,
we're getting old or something,
Yeah, yeah, we are going crazy. I think that's a good way to put it.
Yeah. American style barley wine. I'm not exactly sure the different styles of barley wine myself. Can you elaborate on that at all? Do you know what that difference with that would be compared to
there's British style barley wine, American style barley wine. Like, British style is kind of more like the hop character of it is a little bit more traditional.
Okay.
Whereas the American style's kind of got more like American style hops, like the C's, like Cascades, and kind of more of a grapefruity hop note to them.
All right.
As far as a more nuanced explanation, I'm not Ashley Sexton, so
it's all good. It's apparently a can conditioned beer. Good thing I've been turning it around and doing all kinds of fun stuff like that.
Yeah, because it's got a little thing on the back. The bottom says, let beer sit overnight. Do not disturb. Do not shake, apparently.
I didn't shake it, but it's definitely
Pour
been
slowly at a shallow angle and leave sediment in the can.
Turned around and stuff. So
yeah,
my sediment is coming through, baby.
Yeah, so I think mine is too. Oh well. Oh well, I'm sure it won't hurt us too much.
Only other person I know that has had this beer would be Greg, aka the Beer Burglar, and he honestly wasn't a huge fan. So.
Oh really? Greg was actually nice enough to send me this, and I received it in my last unboxing video that I did a month ago, and on my channel, after this review is done, we're going over and we're going to unbox the big Megalodon box that I got sitting behind him that just came in today.
It's a big box. This this smells really kind of almost lagery to me.
Mm, I'm getting a distinct
Like a bit
like
of like,
pine grapefruit note on it.
like really?
You said it was 11.2%, didn't you? It's a
Yes,
pretty beastly beer.
I get no hint at all of any kind of high ABV off. Like this is the most bland smelling barley wine I think my nose has ever encountered right here. It doesn't smell bad. It
Yeah,
just
I
doesn't
wouldn't necessarily
smell.
call it lager, but I would call it very, very clean and
Yeah,
I'm just getting like a slight, subtle, like floral grapefruit note, maybe a little like citrus, like orange
a
or
little
something.
bit. Yeah, I can kind of.
But that's
I,
faint, and then under that, maybe a little hint of caramel. Uh, like past that, I mean, they did say this was basically an amped up Lone Pine barley wine or Lone Pine IPA.
I don't.
I'm assuming less hops and
Well,
more malt.
obviously, yeah. Like they. I think the Lone Wine is just kind of a tribute because Lone Pine has been one of their flagships, kind of for their entire, like their main beer for the entirety of their being, basically, kind of thing. I don't think that Lone Pine was really a base or anything like that for this, because there's no way they could take Lone Pine IPA and make it into a barley wine. That'd just be crazy.
That's their description that for their 2000th brew, they reworked Lone Pine West Coast IPA recipe and turned it into an American style barley wine.
That's what it actually says. Really?
Yeah,
Okay, then I'm just a crazy person.
they upped the maltiness and kept the same level of hops. Okay,
Really?
so same level of hops. I mean, it does come off as fairly hoppy for a barley wine. Usually, I'm used to getting, and it might be the British style. I'm used to getting more pungent, like caramel and sweet notes from it rather than
I haven't had
or bready cookie kind
I
of
haven't
stuff.
had any crazy amount of barley wine, so
Hmm.
not as well versed. But I just
Yeah, like this, you say like this is a completely different animal than the likes of like Thor's hammer or Sukaba or something like that. It's just
yeah, I
way different.
think you put your mustache into the head a little bit there.
What?
Yeah, there you go. Well done. I mean, I'm trying this now.
There we go. Ooh. Mm.
Okay, there's the this tastes like a can of Lone Pine that's like a month or two past its prime kind of thing,
Mm.
basically. But in
Mm.
not so much a bad way. It's
Like
I'm still getting
it's
a lagery kind of a
well,
overall presence
the
from it.
finish to it is kind of almost like thin and clean, but it's not that the body of the beer is big or anything, or light or anything. It's just
It's
it's
not.
got a weird way of finishing. The first thing I get off of it when I take a sip of it is just this nice big grapefruit pine citrus note, but the caramel starts to come back out like a good American barley wine should.
That's what I mean. That what you described there, that citrusy kind of punch, that is very reminiscent
Hmm.
of Lone Pine. I've drank stupid amounts of
Yeah,
Lone Pine,
under
and
that big like fruity, almost maybe not so much. Yeah, maybe a little bit tangerine or something. Under that, I'm getting like this molasses cookie and bready and caramel and coffee and
yeah, there's some coffee too.
mm,
It's not bad.
and weird finishes with this weird earthy bitterness.
It's weird, but I kind of
Mm,
like it.
yeah, I like it.
Like
I'm not disappointed.
apparently I'm thin but not clean. Thanks, Greg. Cheers, buddy.
There you go.
And American is so different than British. Fair enough, Dan.
Hmm. Yeah, I'd like. I mean, my understanding is the American kind is kind of more hop forward. Not so much hop forward. The hops they use are American ones.
Like old
So
cellar dweller
so
from Driftwood, tastes like a triple IPA fresh. Age gets more of a barley wine. This is kind of coming off as like a
hmm,
bit of a, yeah, it's got like a triple IPA, but again, like a triple IPA that they let just sit on the shelf for like 3 months past its prime. So like all the hoppy presence is
yeah,
really mixing with the malty presence kind of thing. Like if
but
this was an IPA, I wouldn't like
at
it.
the same time, it doesn't taste old either. Like a beer that's been out too long. It tastes like the hops have faded, but the beer's not old. It's
No,
weird. It's almost, I'm almost getting like this
it
kind of
has.
dank.
I get the sensation of like the old West Coast beer, But it does. I know
Yeah.
it doesn't taste old though. It's like it does, but it doesn't. If that makes any sense.
I'm almost getting like this little dank, weedy aftertaste to it. Maybe you don't taste it because you smoke so much, but
What are you talking about? Never.
I don't mind it. I don't mind this.
It's not. It's far from the best beer from Sawdust City I've ever had.
It
But
really reminds me of like Shipyard from Maine used to make a triple. I think it was either a triple or quadruple IPA. It's not quite the same thing as what you call a triple IPA today, but it was a
this,
very malt forward, or even like Fuller's is kind of a British one, but it'd be like Fuller's Imperial IPA, where it's a completely different animal. It's got like a hop notes, but a big caramel body.
there's like not really any dregs to speak of in this freaking beer here. This is weird. Like
Yeah, the beer's
I'm looking in there now. Like there's no like it said made a big deal on the can about, be careful, might get some shit in there. I'm assuming maybe it would be more clear. Like if I remember correctly, when Greg drank his, the picture of his was a bit more like this is still very much translucent. It's not opaque or anything, but yours almost looks a bit lighter than mine, but I feel like you might have a bit more direct light going on your glass.
Yeah, like mine's like borderline opaque, translucent opaque. I can't see through that. But I wouldn't call it like turbid or anything. If there was sediment in here, I must have mixed it in with it by rolling the can in
Yeah,
after
it like
bringing
went
it over.
no chunks at all to speak of. It just mixed very, very nicely and smoothly.
It looks really nice.
Probably doesn't have the sweetness you get with a British barley wine. You get more, I'll correct it, as you said there,
He's
hoppy
right.
bitterness with American. That makes more sense.
Yeah, he's right. It's not quite as sweet as some other British style
It's
barley wines.
it's really not very sweet.
No,
Like
I mean it is, but it's not very sweet.
that's what I mean. It's not very
Yeah,
sweet. It's
it almost blends nicely in with the
it's
earthy
nice.
piney
It's
hop finish.
overall very nicely balanced. This beer.
Mm.
Like I feel like they did a pretty good job. I don't know if this is something I would have chosen for the 2000th brew. I think there's I don't know, they could have done like to not even bump it up to 11.9. Like I'm mildly unimpressed. And my camera has gone mildly blurry because Discord lately has lost its goddamn mind. I apologize to anybody watching.
Nice.
So dumb.
I will say one thing about it is I find it's really almost like creamy smooth. This is going down super easy, but
It
the first
is
sip I had
really
was
smooth.
warming, and
I like the
I
kind
do
of
feel like this is a heavy beer.
like a glittery flake in the label too. It looks kind of cool.
Yeah, I think it's like and they must have printed this on like clear
Mm-hmm.
clear label or something like that because it's almost like I'm seeing the can through the
Yeah, it
label.
almost seems like a bunch of like tiny pinholes in there or something.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let me finish. Pouring a dark amber honey, the color entices you into thoughts of sweet malt with flavors of light toasted bread. However, the aromas of aged hops tell a different story. Aromas of subdued orange citrus with hints of marmalade and pine lead the way, while the maltiness fades into the background. The mouthfeel is rich and satisfying. While the alcohol is present, it only adds heft to the beer, and its heat is well hidden. Okay, the alcohol heat, yeah.
Sure.
Hoppy without being bitter, malty without, balanced with
The heat's
blah,
well
everything
hidden when
else.
you take your first sip. It burns your throat out. You don't feel it afterwards.
I don't
No,
get
it's not that
any.
bad. I make it sound worse than it is, but I just felt the first sip of it was warming.
Not bad.
It's nice. I like it.
It's not lacking anything that I've actually. Is it? It probably is, isn't it? Yeah, because Sawdust City's lost their mind lately and does not any longer seem to care about putting ingredients on their beers. So it contains barley.
No,
That's all
really?
that's all they're letting you know these days. We got a brew date of May 18th last year, so it's been kicking around
Mm,
not quite a year, but
that's how old mine is.
um I'm gonna go 7.25. I'd give it 7.75, but
Mm,
ingredients are a thing that I like to see.
I really like this. I was gonna give it like an I'll give it an 8.5. I like this. I would drink this
Yeah,
again.
fair enough. I don't mind it. It's
And I
just,
do want to point out that the label is printed on a silver background.
well, look
So
at you.
those little pinholes is actually on the label itself. That's convenient.
Interesting.
I'm done.
Yeah. Well, I think we're both done. Thanks everybody for watching. Greg and Dan, only people commenting, but there's been 3 concurrent viewers and some playbacks and fun shit like that. Barley wine containing
Barley wine. It's a barley wine, yeah.
Barley wine containing barley.
Barley.
Dan, swear to God.
It's a barley wine containing barley. It's almost like he intentionally made those spelling mistakes in it just to troll you.
No.
It did get that reaction, to be fair.
Anyway, yeah, if you want to hop over to Nick's channel, Maxwell Starr, it's linked right below in the description. We're going to be over there in a few minutes, kind of thing, opening up that giant box that's behind him right now.
And remember, read Lee's last comment.
And keep on trucking. Yeah.
Cheers.
If you support the trucking convoy that's in Ottawa right now, then, fall into a volcano or something
Freedom
like that.
beard.
For Christ's sakes. Yeah, there we go. All right. Good times. Peace out, everyone.
All right. Later, dude.
Woo.
Nice.